Hello everyone, welcome to the last episode of my Dark Souls 2 Scarlet First Sin playthrough, part 93. Today we'll be reading the rest of the boss weapon descriptions that I definitely did not have time to read in that last episode. And then the only video, and then what's coming after this series, is next episode, which, let me really think for a sec. The next episode, or next video should come out on Monday, after this one. And that'll be a boss ranking for Dark Souls 2 Scarlet First Sin. Although I'll probably be recording it the day I'm recording this. Just so I have them as fresh in my mind as possible. But as for now, I should probably get to these so I don't waste too much time. Mytha's Bent Blade. Dagger forged from the soul of Mytha, the Baneful Queen, coated with a potent poison. Mytha was the fairest queen in the land until something unhinged her. Was it the poison found deep within the earth, or the passion that consumed her heart? Ivory Straightsword, sword of Fabian Knight of Eliam Lois. This blade crafted with ivory ore native to the land, harnesses souls to slash at foes. Should Fabian led the loyal knights of Eliam Lois straight into the depths of chaos to exterminate the terrible things that dwell within, but not one of the selfless knights returned. Thorne Greatsword. A greatsword forged from the soul of the Looking Glass Knight, strong attack unleashes its latent power. Fearing something wicked, the king fled the castle and never returned, but his warrior, forever true to his command, stands ready to expunge those who would challenge him. Special attack, strong attack. Defender Greatsword. Greatsword wielded by the throne defender unleashes true power to unwreath its magic. The defender has stood by the throne for ages. Will his weight be worth the while? No. Absolutely not. That boss is trash. Watcher Greatsword. Greatsword wielded by the Throne Watcher unleashes true power to unearth magic. The Watcher has stood by the throne for ages. Ruler's Sword. Greatsword of Vendrick, King of Dring Lake. The strength of this sword is relative to the number of souls possessed by its wielder. One fragment of Dark, having taken human shape, became obsessed with the king's soul, impelled by its own cravings. It sought souls and strove to make the strength of the giant its own. In fact, attack boosted by souls held. Lois Greatsword. Greatsword of the Knights of Lois. The Knights of Lois were commanded to strike down each malformed terror that arose from chaos, and they would not hesitate even if it were their own king. Smelter Sword. An ultra greatsword formed from the soul of the Smelter Demon. Its blade bears the strength of terrible flames, a latent power unleashed by a strong attack. The earth sprouted spouted fire, and a beast arose from the flames. The short-sighted king was incinerated by the creature in one swing, and his castle devoured in a sea of flames. Lost Sinner Sword. An ultra great sword forged from the soul of the lost sinner. Its blade stops the life of its wielder. The true nature of this sword is unknown even to the lost sinner herself. Those who choose this sword will share the burden of the lost sinner's misdeeds. Drakewing Ultra Greatsword. A sword decorated with drake wings. Use strong attack to unleash its latent power. The blade of this sword is split into two, and is best swung in slashing motions rather than slices, or smashing motions rather than slices. Drakes are likely descendants of the ancient dragons, and although their strength pales in comparison to what is described in legend, to me humans they are still mighty beasts. Aged Smelter Sword. Ultra Greatsword crafted from the soul of the Smelter Demon. Its blade is imbued with a great flame, blah 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 blah. When the old king acquired the power to grant life to heaps of iron, he molded a great array of metallic automatons. The iron monstrosity itself was perhaps one of the king's puppets. Ivory King Ultra Greatsword. Ultra Greatsword of the Ivory King of Eliam Lois. Ruled with both hands to realize its full strength. It is said that the Ivory King was once the highest ranking knight in his home of Ferosa, famed for its god of war. After taking his crown, they said he was the first to swing his swords in times of need, be it for his homeland or his people. Spiderfang. Curved sword forged from the soul of the Duke's dear Freya. Its blade is coated with a sickly soak that is cast with each strong movement, or with each strong attack, slowing enemy movement. Supposedly, the Duke himself, an eccentric soul fascinated with spiders, went on to take a form that was far from human. Elium Lois. Or no, yeah, Elium Lois. Curved sword forged from the soul of Elsana, formed by 2 curious blades. The sword cures front eyes HP with a hit from a strong attack. The enigmatic Elsana quietly found a place at the Ivory King's side, and when his strength was fully drained, he conferred the sword and inscribed the name of the land to her. What? That doesn't make any sense. She gave the pirate character, her soul to make this weapon. So how the fuck did... So she received the weapon and then turned it back into her own soul. That doesn't make sense. Arch Sword. Curved greatsword forged from the soul of the Flexile Sentry. There is something unsettling and at the same time beautiful about its long curved blade. The Sentry crammed inmates of the overflowing Bastille onto a rickety ship and cast them out to open sea. The majority of them drowned or starved, but a few hardy survivors made land to the south and imparted their knowledge of sorcery to the people there. Curved Dragon Greatsword. A curved greatsword forged from the soul of the ancient dragon. In the Age of Ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog, the land of great crags, archeries, and everlasting dragons. Okay, so that end description is just straight taken from the Dark Souls 1 intro. Okay. Nope. Did not put that in somehow. That's not a boss weapon. Bewitched Alon Sword. Katana forged from the soul of Alon. The captivating, undulating design serves to enhance this weapon's mystical allure. Alon came from the east and soon became the Iron King's most trusted knight. When he departed, the old Iron King bequeathed Sir Alon's name to his armed warriors. Butcher's Knife. An oddly large butcher's knife, not your standard weapon, but certainly deadly enough to be used as one. Absorbs the HP of foes. Who in their right mind would create such a thing? Perhaps it is best not to dwell on how it was likely used in the past. Giant Stone Axe. Great Axe forged from the last giant's soul. This weapon resembles a primitive stone tool, but is quite powerful owing to its immense size. King Vendrick disappeared as of the war with the giants reaches Ferocious Peak, leaving his castle. What? Oh, so there's a run-in sentence that wasn't... Okay. God, this game is so weird. Some swear that upon hearing the news, the Queen's face remained as still as her portrait. Sacred Chime Hammer. Great Hammer of the Royal Aegis. The power of this hammer's blessing has not faded completely, despite its being exposed to the dark of the Undead Crypt. Unleash your latent power with a strong attack. Sir Velset, known as the Royal Aegis, gave himself to the king in both life and death. Iron King Hammer. Great Hammer forged from the soul of the Old Iron King. The tip is formed of bolted rock. The corpse of the Old Iron King became the vessel that bred Icarus Earth. The heavy rock tip is formed of cooled magma with a still smoldering core. Strong attack releases its inner power. Dragon Slayer Spear. A Rancier forged from the soul of the old Dragon Slayer. The Spear of the Knight, known as the Dragon Slayer, was imbued with the power of lightning and shattered the stone scales of dragons. Strong attack unleashes its latent power. Gargoyle Biden. A two-pronged spear that imitates a weapon mentioned in an ancient text. Gargoyles are said to guard castles and forge from ill fortune, and they have appeared in many forms in all the great lands throughout history. Some of them are so meticulously crafted they look as if they might come to life. Your Spear. Spear wielded by Sir Jorg during his invasion of the Sanctum City. After his defeat of the Sunken King, Sir Jorg pierced Sin, the slumbering dragon, with this spear to claim its blood. But Sin immediately awoke, spewing a poisonous fog that blanketed the city in death, and Sir Jorg disappeared into the Eternal Sanctum. Excuse me. Roaring Halberd. Halberd forged from the soul of a skeleton lord, imbued with the power of dark. The unsettling skull carved into this halberd recalls the final moments of the skeleton lord from whom it was created. Wrathful Axe. An armament forged from the soul of Alana, Child of Dark. You strongly attacked to unleash its latent power. When the abyss dissipated, the things that it called home were fragmented and scattered across the realms. Eventually, these pieces regained form in some ways that hinted at humanity's true nature. Bone Scythe. Scythe forged from the soul of the covetous demon. The curved spine of the covetous demon is as hard as rock, and rather than slicing through its flesh, this weapon seems to grind it apart. The thing that ended up as a monstrous fiend, what was it to begin with, and why did it never leave the queen? Perhaps it was entranced by some perversion of love. Scythe of Want. A scythe born from the soul of Nashandra. The old one of the abyss was reborn in death, split into minuscule fragments, and spread across the land. After regaining their shapes, they crawled forth, yearning for strong souls in search of great power. Dragon Rider Twinblade. Twinblade of the Dragon Riders. King Vendrick's Royal Guard. Twinblades are wielded with an unusual technique. This one strikes hard but is very heavy. Demands great skill of its wielder and thus serve to test the worthiness of those who aspire to join the Dragon Riders. Excuse me. Spotted Whip. A whip born from the soul of the Demon of Song, covered with strange spots that portrays its poisonous effects. The demon's sonorous voice is stark contrast to, the demon's sonorous voice in stark contrast to its hideous form is surely intended to lure people close so that it may devour them. I'm sorry for all the burps and stuff. I've been really burpy today for some reason. Shield Crossbow. Crossbow created from the soul of the Executioner's Chariot. Iron plate serves as a shield while firing. The merciless chariot inflicted agony upon others with utter impunity, and the crossbow created from its soul strives to protect from possible retribution. Chime of Screams. Sacred chime forged from the soul of Nadalia, Bride of Ash. Nothing appears sacred about the frightful design of this chime, but it does have the benefit of raising one's faith. The oozing frozen iron forming the bell seems to anticipate a scream. Lois Shield. Shield of the Knights of Lois gradually restores HP while equipped. The Knights of Lois were commanded to strike down each malformed terror that arose in chaos, and they would not hesitate even for their own king. Same as earlier. Dragon Rider Grey Shield. Grey Shield of the Dragon Riders, King Vendrick's Royal Guard. The rank of Dragon Rider was reserved for honorable warriors who helped found Dringlake. Together with the king, they crushed his former inhabitants and erected a magnificent kingdom upon their graves. King's Mirror. A great shield created from the soul of the Looking Glass Knight. Can deflect spells. Looking Glass at the castle is said to have been a passage to another world. I think that's it. It's fucking dumb that's not actually a mirror. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this series. At least more than I did, because this series fucking sucked. Or this game sucked. But regardless, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. What does this do? Ooh. Have a nice day and stay safe.